So I just got done watching Lupin the Third, Part 5, Episode 8, and oh boy. Oh boy, this... Things got interesting. Things got real interesting for Lupin. Most of the episode, or at least the first half, deals with this retired investigator who has photographic memory. He used to be famous for his job of, remembering faces and just being really good at his job. In fact, Lupin calls him a celebrity to thieves, and then they get into a really interesting chase with a character named Jose, and they have a really good battle between Jigen. Like, Jose has a good battle between Jigen and Lupin. It was very fun to watch. And yeah, at the very beginning, after it takes place, immediately right after the last episode, and we see Lupin paranoid. We see him actually scared. Not comedic scared, no. Like, for once, Lupin does not have the upper hand. Lupin is paranoid. And then I get revealed that Albert was indeed Gaston. Or Gaston, I should say. And so the first half, unfortunately, the one character, the investigator, he dies. And there's a moment of silence. And things become a little bit more dreary and dreadful. And Lupin and G can go back into... Alright, you know what? Before I go even to more dark places, I should mention it was really funny to see Goemon interact with his cell phone and not being able to use a touch screen. That was very funny and entertaining. And anyway, so Lupin and Jigen go back into Paris to meet with Albert. Or Lupin does. Like, Lupin's gonna meet with Albert. And Jigen notices, Jigen tries to talk Lupin out of this, and he's like, normally I wouldn't try to convince you out of this, but you don't seem convinced that this is a good idea either. And it just develops more and more of like who Albert is, and we do find out Albert is openly gay, and that's really nice. Even though he's the antagonist, it's still nice to see LGBTQ representation in anime. And I do believe it's done well. It's not a defining personality. It's just, he's into guys. Nothing wrong with that. But we get to find more about Albert, and that Lupin and him definitely have a history. And Albert gets under Lupin's skin. Not in an irritating way, but Lupin isn't afraid of Albert. And it's really interesting to see an antagonist that actually puts Lupin on the edge of his seat. And it was... and that confrontation at the very end between Lupin and Albert, it's one of those, you expect Lupin to get out of this, but no, Albert's the one with the upper hand. Albert gets the upper hand on Lupin, and that's really great to see. An antagonist actually do that, make Lupin, and he actually shoots Lupin successfully. Now, that could have been Lupin getting too cocky, however, I see it as just... Albert is really a good antagonist for Lupin because he really is the guy who has the upper hand over Lupin. He's Lupin's match. And you would think that Zen got over the years. Even though, he's the comedic inspector, he was the one guy who could catch Lupin successfully because he has done that. Now, keeping him in prison, that's another story, but Zenigata knows Lupin's tricks. But Lupin always just seems to be, always that, just one tiny step, you know, for, ahead. One tiny step ahead of Zenigata. However, Albert, he's not a tiny step ahead of Lupin. He's a giant leap ahead of Lupin, and it's really interesting to see. And this episode leaves off at a really weird place because Lupin's bleeding out from a gunshot wound, and unlike that one episode 4 where it's like, well, we know Lupin's gonna make out. How here, yes, we know Lupin's gonna make it out, but we don't know how he's gonna make it out. We don't know how this is gonna impact him because this was something that Lupin did not plan. Alright. Anyway, I really love this episode, and I can't wait to see more of this arc. So anyway, see you in the next video. Au revoir.